Nosm Tats Cru, and we're known as How Nosm. Well, me, Nosm, I came up with that name doing the train I think it was around 94 or 95 in Germany. I used to write a different name and I got busted and got into trouble with the law, so I had to change my name. And we had a guest from Frankfurt in town, and of course, you know, back then we were bombing trains and doing a lot of illegal stuff, so we decided to go out at night and do a train, and I really didn't have a new name, so I had thought of Nosm, N-O-S-E, but my brother reminded me that there's a guy in Munich that was getting quite busy on the trains as well, so while I'm doing a drawing basically on the train, he told me just don't do an E, do an M, man. That's how Nosm came, man. I didn't think I was gonna stay with that name, but it's been now several years that I have that name.
There was no specific reason how I came up with my name, just like the different lettering, and I wanted to come up with a new name. Because the other one was getting boring and too hot, too much police frequencies, and then I just juggled around with different letters and came about H-O-W. Now you can just put different meanings into it, you know.
When we started out, we were really super toys. We didn't know nothing about the history of graffiti, you know, didn't even know about New York, all that stuff. So we just started tagging because all our boys, they were probably like 3-4 years older than us, they were tagging. So to us it was like skateboarder riding, you know, they were all skateboarders, they were tagging, so we did
part
it
of
too.
the culture, you know.
Yeah, and then at some point, years later, a friend of us showed us, I think it was spray can art, over the subway. No, I think it was spray can art. And we're like, whoa, this is all possible with spray paint, you know, and still, you know, spray can art is kind of, yes, mainly New York, but has all from everywhere, so we're like, oh, cool, yeah. And then we just started doing little toy pieces here and there, and developed through time. And then when we got to New York, we still didn't know that much, you know. I mean, yeah, we've seen Bio's piece in there with nice in the back of spray can art, and we knew about scene and all that, but like we didn't know about all the 70 writers, how complex everything was, how many different names they had, you know. And through time and meeting a lot of people, we learned a lot about the history. You know?
There's no graph influences really in our growing up, because there was no internet or any printed media whatsoever. They were so limited that it was really hard to be influenced by style writers, because there weren't too many in Germany either, you know. So you would have black and white copies and from magazines from abroad and stuff. So you were limited. So you would have your own education of different artists that, you know, you would learn in art class in school. So it had nothing to do with graffiti. But
I mean, along the way, we met a lot of great artists, and we always get influenced a little bit here and there, and, you know, copy or whatever, you know, influence means. But I don't know, it's too many to name, really, you know. And when my sister came here, like in the late 80s, she knew some people in the South Bronx that she was working for out in Germany, and years later, when we got really deep into graffiti, you know, that person offered us to, you know, that we can stay with them here in the South Bronx. And of course, we're not from rich family, and it was an opportunity to stay for free, so we said yes. And we didn't know anybody here, you know, nobody from the scene, so we just okay,
it was a goal that I think most European writers or writers that are not from the States or New York, you know, that's something on, all the way on the top of your list that you would like to achieve in the life of your career of graffiti, you know, come and visit New York and
so
see the scene live and be able to paint something. It's just
it wasn't even about meeting people. We said we don't know anybody.
Okay.
If we meet somebody cool, if not, we're just gonna go like we do everywhere. We find abandoned buildings, just paint it, or, you know, paint train tracks. But it all just turned out to be different, you know. Like we met Bio and them through Brim, who was working at the halftime shop for Fat Joe, and they hooked us up with the walls, you know. So told us where to buy paint, and it was was easy. You know, they made it easy for us, and we liked it so much, and we came back and back and back. We got down the same year that we came in '97. We were staying here for like a whole month, and you know, like we were like little, like their sons. You know, hey, what you doing? What you doing? What you harassing? Basically, you know, they would take us out to bars and to basically everything. You know what I mean? Hang out and this and that, and eventually they asked us if we want to represent the crew. You know. So, yeah, dream, I don't know. It's not like we were jocking them that much, but yeah, it was a dope crew. It was a big crew, and yeah. At the end, after so many years, I can say that it was the best choice. You know, we've gotten down with other crews that was totally disappointment. You know, and at the end, I don't know why we say yes, but whatever. You know, that's life. You make mistakes, and now we family and friends, and I'm happy that we're part of them. Even if they get on my balls many times, you know, especially Bio. We influence ourselves in the crew, you know. I mean, everybody has totally different styles, and I think that's what's very unique in Tats Cru. You know, if you look at the different New York crews, you know, you got that crew that all paint the same, and if you don't paint like they do, you can't get down. Then you have this crew, they all paint the same. You know, if you look at our crew, BG paints way different than Bio paints way different than Nisa, and we paint different than them three, you know, and Totem paints on the other hand totally different again, so I think we're very versatile, and I think that's the cool thing about it. We're quite versatile. We have a whole bunch of styles, really. I don't stick only to one, you know. Back in the days when we came here to New York, everybody's, yeah, how Nosm, they do 3D stuff, you know. Then we switched up stuff, you know, from 3D to 2D. Or we would get invited somewhere, they would say, hey, you're not going to do a 3D? I can do whatever I want, you know. I hate to be forced to do one certain style, so, you know, and the point of painting or doing graffiti to me is exploring yourself, you know, like try things out, you know. I mean, and at the end, it says how I Nosm anyway, so.
Yeah, having style doesn't mean you have to have one specific style, as long as you have style. All that matters, really.
And what's up with the black and white style that you guys have been doing lately?
It's just cheap. Really, that's how it came about. Being in South America, traveling a lot and trying to get around without a car and buses and just subways. It was getting tiring carrying 120 cans with you, you know, or full color. It was easy just to buy in a hardware store a bucket of white and have some black and reds with you and just whitewash most of it. And, you know, it's cheaper and it's easier to get a lot of things done in a big size, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know, we too, sometimes when I'm lazy, like, come on, let's go. I'm like, today paint? Okay, fuck it. And the other way around too, and I think the same thing is with Bio, you know, BG and Nicer, you know, they're like, I don't feel like painting today. Come on, here, we're gonna go paint. You don't want to be left out, so this, you know, we energize each other.
We've been doing this for so long that I know when you don't do it, you get bored. You don't know what to do. I mean, bike riding, play basketball, whatever. No, it's not what you do. You know? Just
yeah, we're quite boring. We don't know what else to do besides painting. And then when we don't paint, we go out and get fucked up, drink beers with the crew, and then it's the next day. What we're gonna do? Let's go paint again.
Self-expression, I guess, and the freedom for you to be able to do whatever you want. I mean, you have the illegal and the legal. Illegal is basically the greatest freedom you can have, because if you decide to paint on whatever you want, you just do it. Ain't nobody gonna stop you, really. But for that, you have to take the consequences. So it's something, you know, you really appreciate. So you really love graffiti if you're willing to go that route, you know?
Yeah, it's part of our lives, and it's hard to think that it's not going to be there anymore, you know? But on the other hand, it started out with painting subways, trains, or whatever, and painting illegally, then started doing productions and walls, and then canvases and whatnot, and nowadays, what is it? Is it grand street art? Is all fuse. You have so many different artists, you know, like.
I mean, in New York, you probably graffiti, you know, tagging and subway graffiti. That would be, if you want to limit the term graffiti, then I guess that's the most original there is, you know, tagging and subway graffiti. Practice, really, and patience. Patience is even more important than practice, because you give up so quick, you know. You want to be a master immediately, you know, so.
Yeah. Talent is hidden somewhere. You got to find it, you know. You got to be patient, and eventually you find it. And once you find it, you keep practicing and practicing till you know. It's never perfect, so that's why you keep on.
You got to be patient, and even if you don't become good, just doing it because it's fucking fun.